Hi everybody, and welcome to my studio. It's a beautiful day, so we're outside again painting. As you can see, I have a black canvas prepared, so that was just done by painting a standard white canvas black using acrylic paint. And on top of that, I added some contact paper here for a special surprise later. And then on top of that, I just added some Pthalo Green, some Indian yellow, and some transparent red here, here, and here, and some Pthalo Blue and Prussian Blue down the bottom. The order of the colored paints is going to go blue, red, yellow, green, and then just a little bit of blue. So to get started, I'm just going to throw some stars in the sky. And create a universe in 5 seconds. Then, with a fan brush, I'm just going to go into some titanium white. And if you ever want to do live painting for people, prepare a black canvas beforehand. It'll be great. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start tapping in some bands of color for my northern lights. And it'll mix with the paint that we laid down at the bottom. And I'm just going to add some bands of northern lights just by tapping. And between each application, I'm rubbing the fan brush onto the easel just to clear off some of the excess paint. So I have my lines of paint. I'm going to clean off the brush just a little bit. I'm going to go to my lights, I'm going to pick them up. I might use, for these red ones, I might actually touch a little bit of the bright red in there. This is coming off a little bit more pink than I'd like. That's the color I want. I want these to be quite red. More red over on this side. And I'll start picking up the yellow ones. Same dirty brush. Still has some red on it. Now I think we're going to clean that off and go into titanium white. So really what we're really just doing here is we're just taking the transparent colors and we're making them opaque by mixing the opaque white and the opaque reds. Pick them up as high as you want to pick them up. I think maybe a bit bigger on one side and a bit lesser on the other. These green ones out. Northern Lights are my favorite thing to paint. I think they might always well be, because they're just really super fun to do. These red guys up just a bit more. Now here's the tricky part. The tricky part here is that I have red and I have green, and red and green make brown. So I'm going to blend these, I'm going to lift them up even higher, but I need to be very careful not to let my colors mix too much. So I'm just going to go like 1, flip my brush, 2, beat it. 1, 2, beat it. 1, 2, beat it. And that way I'm not running too much. That way I'm not running too much paint together. Okay, and there's a nice aurora. Next, we're going to add a mountain in here. I think a lot of my stars kind of got messed up by the blending, so I'll just throw a few more back. There we go. So let's make our mountain. For the mountain, we're going to take some of the Pthalo Blue, Prussian Blue, Lamp Black, Ochre, maybe the rest of the transparent red. Get a really kind of dark color. You get a roll of paint. So what you do is you pull it flat like that and just cut some paint and start your mountain. Try not to make mountains too triangular, but in this case I think I kind of want something just a little bit on the steeper side. And the only thing that's really important is the top edge. It might be really difficult to see exactly what's going on here with the black paint on the black canvas, but in person you will be able to see what you're doing. Okay. And then I start to cut off any excess paint. The dark colors in the canvas anyway, and that'll make the next layer a lot easier to stick. One more protrusion here. Clean the knife off. And I'm going to highlight this mountain, and I think I'm going to highlight it, well, maybe, let's try just a little bit of that transparent red. And mostly white, leaving it a little bit marbled. Same strategy, pull it out thin, like that. Cut out a thin little roll, and start highlighting the mountain. To highlight the mountain, you just got to be really, really gentle. I think anybody can be gentle. I said before a couple times that I've done a lot of weightlifting. I did some bodybuilding, powerlifting, wrestling, judo. So I'm a pretty strong guy, I like to think. And if I can be gentle enough to paint these mountains, I think you can too. Something like that. And then let's do the shadow color. Shadow color is just going to be more thin, more white, a little bit of the Pthalo Blue, a little more white than that. Take it, cut it. Something like that. Then I'm going to take, in this case, I'm going to take a 1-inch brush. I'm just going to start tapping the bottom. Start tapping far away, going in the direction the mountain goes. Tapping it out. The reason you do this is because the bottom of a mountain is always a little bit more distinct than the top of it. Or sorry, the top of a mountain is more distinct than the bottom of it. So by tapping, I'm going to be diffusing lots of light, making it really easy to sort of see the other things that'll go below the mountain. Sort of work with whatever shows up to. Just get up. It's pretty fun. Let's do another mountain. Maybe this one goes out in front. Again, the only thing that really matters is the top layer. The rest of it doesn't really matter. With that one. Maybe before we highlight that one, let's just add in a little bit of background. So maybe some Pthalo Blue into that. Just some snow. pretty far away, but maybe there's just a little bit here that gets a little bit more light. So you just touch white, and all of a sudden it gets a little bit lighter. Take that knife, just re-add my mountain over that. And cut off all my excess. And one thing that you can do to cut off the excess is you can also just use a paintbrush and just sort of pull the mountain. This has a habit of making the mountain sometimes grow a little bit, but it's also really good for making sure that things hold on, like the highlight snow holds on. Something like that. Go back to my highlight color, the white with a little bit of transparent red. Things got a little bit messy down there. Make it a little bit more. And I think let's have the highlights go. Super gentle. And it'll still pick up color from underneath, and then shadow color. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit more Prussian Blue into the shadow color here, make it a little bit darker. Then tap some of that away. Once in a while, you can just add a little bit of white to your tapping. It really does help sort of just break up and diffuse some of the color. And just tapping it until it goes away. Pick it up. Now let's add a little bit more snow. So I'm just going to take plain white 1-inch brush, and I'm going to start here in the middle. just going to start laying in some snow. Ooh. Should that happen, take your knife, zip it off. I'm not sure where that dark color came from. Maybe I need to. Okay, so that's a pretty easy thing to fix. Even if you do accidentally grab the wrong paint. Just fill the whole thing in. And here you just sort of play games. Sort of find spots where you want to make it brighter. Maybe if you want to, you can take some paint, go in the other direction if you want to. Maybe some of the aurora might be reflecting, so you can touch some of the red that you have. Just brighten it up. Sort of like that. Let's add some trees and stuff to this painting now. So I'm going to take a fan brush, and to the mountain color, I'm just going to add some of the Pthalo Green and some of the Prussian Blue. So more green and more blue to the original mountain color. And maybe what we'll do is down here, we'll add just really distant forest. Now we have some trees down here. Those trees can cast a shadow, so with a clean brush, just give it a little pull, and you'll see their shadow. These trees down here, they might get a little bit of a highlight, so we'll take a brush, nice white brush, maybe kind of a little push out. Some of that white. Maybe over here, there's some bigger trees. So we can do that same stroke, just sort of pushing down, keeping it dark, really dark. Maybe every once in a while you might see a more developed tree. this little forest goes off nowhere to nowhere in particular. Maybe those disappear down there. Maybe we can break up that hard edge just a little bit. Maybe some things growing on in the grass. Those are always nice to have. Sometimes snow doesn't really just cover everything. So you get these points where it pokes up some stuff. Here it looks like a spot where there might be some stuff. Well, sort of this recessed area. Around here I kind of imagine the land is going down and up. Push out things. And what do I do with over here? Maybe, here's a thought, maybe this is a lake. Just pull it down. And with a clean brush, I'm running low on. I'll pull to the side. Add a water line. Let's use the knife for the high water line. And that goes behind the mountain. And we'll add maybe just 2 trees. Not big trees, just 1 tree here. Down over our lake. Maybe 1 more. Yeah. Some people might be, oh, I like that lake. Well, you saw how quick it was to make that lake. It's still back there. You can still see parts of it, just like in the real world. You can't always see everything. A little bit more dark in places. Maybe a little tiny touch of thinner. We did build up quite a bit of layers just to get it to stick. And then I'm going to highlight this with just a touch of liquid white. And some of the Pthalo Blue and white that we've been using to a good consistency. Remember, thin paint will stick on a thick paint. So if you're painting and you find that your paint isn't sticking, or you touch, like let's say you touch and you come back with color that's on the canvas already instead of laying down, then what you do is you add a little paint thinner. That's all. Guys. A little bit of highlight color here and there. want things to stick. It'll pushy up things. Knees and stuff. And then just, I don't know, a little stick out here somewhere. Just sticks that are out in nature, in piles of trees. Alright, let's put the palette down. And I said there was a big surprise. Now, if you read the title of the video, then you might have been able to guess what this surprise might be. So I'm just going to pick up some of this contact paper. I'm going to be very careful because this thing, its wings are very, very thin in places, so I don't know if I'll get this off in one go or not. Lost a wing. Not bad. I do recommend having a penknife handy. Let's see if I can get this wing off. There's just a little bit of lag over here. Tweezers might also be a good idea. This last little piece is just giving me a little bit of trouble. There we go. There's a few little tiny spots. I might clean it up later on. You'll see the finished version on my website. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me. So, peace. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys around next time. Bye.